Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
So my question to whoever wants to be today's ball knower is...
Just last thing, this is probably a catch-22 conversation more, but there's a lot of like...
Is it above us?
No.
He's no, wilting violet or whatever the saying is. Shrinking violet.
I'm an ally of Bill's Mafia too.
You're an ally of Bill's Mafia? Are you an honorary member?
No, I have friends in the Mafia, and
You know some people?
Jeez,
You know some people?
Parsons tore his ACL.
They can't. Well, that was late.
Nick says
Parsons got
nuts.
hurt late.
Yeah.
Who?
Nick says nuts.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything nice to say, so I'm just not going to say it at all.
Okay.
What do you mean I'm not a man of the people?
You don't like people.
You're right. The radio side of it is a little different than like the beat reporter side of it.
I think it's all the same.
No,
I think it's just all rah, 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 sis, boom, bam.
But do you understand?
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium, a turn the page day.
Flushed it.
We'll be turning our eyes to the Baltimore Ravens for a Sunday night game, but there's probably still some residue from the Bills game that people want to talk about, so that's okay. But we are going to focus on the Ravens today. We got Mike Vrabel at 110, I believe. Is that when he's coming on?
Sounds right.
It's accurate.
110?
Yeah. On the nose. One, can't tell people one because it's
Oh, you're complaining now? We're
110.
getting more information?
just like consistency, Fred.
Oh, well, listen.
It's the same time every time.
Listen, I like the communication from this regime. I have no complaints. No complaints. I think they're outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah. Well, you got to deal with it a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
we
the
don't
one
really
having
do.
those conversations,
Yeah.
keeping the train on track.
You ask a question, you get a response.
Oh.
You get explanations. It's wonderful. Anyway, okay. So it's Evan, it's Paul, it's Deuce, it's me, it's Alex and Matt in the booth.
That was a rhythm
like
on
that?
that, Fred. I like that. It's a little sing-songy.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better.
All right.
I'm feeling
all
better.
right. No more dark,
Yeah.
Fred.
Feeling better.
Do you hear what Matt Collins said about it?
About what?
About the game on Sunday and the loss?
What did he say?
He said, like, when, because everybody poops, right? So when you take a poop, you don't stare at it forever. You got to flush it eventually.
Yeah.
So we're flushing
We
it.
flushed the poop.
Yeah, we're
Okay,
done.
we buried the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but they flushed the poop.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what we're going with.
So he thought it was a turd of a game?
I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but that was his metaphor.
Okay, because you thought it was a pretty good game.
I thought it was a good football game. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the Patriots.
It wasn't without its merits.
They didn't play so poorly.
No,
as
they
people
did, they
think.
did some things well.
Yeah.
Was that their best half? The first half?
Probably
Overall?
their best half of the season.
Might be their best fast since Tom Brady was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, yeah.
Did I had the pleasure of chatting with Claire today on the Claire perspective.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
You talk tight end.
Yeah, I said what Evan just said. I think it was not only this year, it was probably the best half in quite some time.
Yeah.
Best football they played in a while. Now, doesn't matter when you can't come away with a win. But yeah, I mean, there were some things that you should feel good about.
All right. So how, coming off that game, how concerned are we about stopping the run against the Ravens?
Very.
Very.
Yes.
I don't know how you can't be. I mean,
I've been worried about stopping the run for a while.
I mean, I've been worried about Derrick Henry since August
Yeah.
2019.
Correct.
When he walked in front of me in a pair of shorts. I said, good luck to whoever has to tackle that guy.
Well,
I made the unfortunate mistake of asking Deuce a question while he was looking at Derrick Henry, and I never got a response.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's not like he's lights out this year. Teams have had success stopping him this year. It's not like every game he gets 100 yards.
I mean, they're third in the league in rushing, so not a ton of success.
No.
It's still a really good rushing team. Really good.
I don't know. Why are they?
7-7.
Yeah.
Lamar's hurt.
Lamar got hurt,
Yeah,
but he still has run for 1,125 yards.
Yeah.
10 touchdowns. He averages almost 5 yards
I don't
a
know.
carry.
There's certain games where he's not done that well. And then other games
I'm
where
gonna
he
guess
breaks
that those
out.
are the games that Lamar didn't play.
In the early
Like the
part of the
months that he
season,
missed.
he had some fumbling issues.
He definitely cost them the first game of the year with a fumble.
Yeah, but their run game is awesome. It's schemed well. They got good players. They got Ricard is a beast. This is old school. They're smash mouth bully ball. Like, this is not going to be.
So the Patriots have the personnel to combat that. As we stand right
Hold
now.
onto your butt.
So I have a
Who's that?
question for Fred. You like to ask the ball knowers?
Yep.
So I'm going to ask the ball knowers,
Hi.
Mike and Evan.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm in there. All right.
Do you think the James Cook style, smaller, quicker slasher, or the power guy and Derrick Henry? Which one do you think the Patriots are better suited to defend?
I think earlier it
I
was
asked the ball knowers.
Oh, geez. So I can't answer. Okay.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
I think early in the season they'd rather have the big guy.
What do you mean? Because just harder to get guys in the cold kind of thing?
No, just I'm just saying the way the team was playing against the run earlier in the season.
Oh, yeah.
With everybody was healthy.
Yeah.
Williams, Tonga. I think they'll take their chances against the guy who's not the slasher.
Yeah, I think they can be better. I think they can be better than they were last week against James Cook. I'm concerned about the missed tackle rate that popped back up last week. That's something with Derrick Henry that you wouldn't really expect with James Cook as much. I know he's shifty, but this is what Derrick Henry does. He's a big tackle breaking machine. But if they get back to playing in sync and everyone's got the right call, everyone knows what they're executing, I think that was part of the problem last week. Then I think that they can be okay. But I still look at the Ravens team and say they've got all the elements you need to attack this Patriots team where they're weakest. And, I mean, look no farther than last week where they don't have a lot of receiving threats, but they can do it with the tight ends and the run game gets going. And,
It's a bad matchup.
I think it is a little bit of a bad matchup, at least defensively, without Spillane, without Milton Williams. Again, you're looking at Christian Gonzalez, probably not going to cover Zay Flowers. So, not a lot for him to do. They can try to attack Marcus Jones a little bit with him. So I don't think it's a great matchup with the Ravens offense. It's just, to me, it really depends on, does Lamar do what Josh Allen did last week and start to play MVP type football?
Ravens are favored.
I think slightly.
Ravens are favored. But I will say, Ravens haven't beaten anybody good. So I don't know, are the Patriots good or not, but the Ravens haven't beaten anybody good, unless you count the Bears.
Did all those good teams fall during when Lamar was hurt?
He was hurt.
Some of them, for sure.
Yeah, weeks 5 through 8. But he's hurt now. Like, he's not the same player that he has been, especially not the last 2 years when he was, probably the second best quarterback in the league. In terms of Paul's question, I don't know if it matters because they were giving up all the runs up the middle to Cook too. So that's where Ravens are going to hit him. Now Cook is a little bit different, of course, but I think the biggest thing with the Patriots last week is I just thought that the details in terms of their run fits just weren't there. Like, the guys were getting out of gaps and they weren't, in sync in the box in terms of how they were going to stop the run. You can't do that against Baltimore. Like, it's not, the thing about Baltimore's run game too is that it's explosive. Like, it's not just that they're going to get you at 5-6 yards a carry, every single time. They're second in the league in explosive run rate as well. So they can hit big ones on you too, if you're not careful. So I think the one thing that they might have though is, like, if you can bottle up the run game enough, like the Ravens drop back passing game right now is not very good. And so if you can get them into that straight drop back game, then you have a chance.
How do you do that?
Stop the run. Yeah, I mean, they got to stop the run. You got to stop the play action. You got to stop the RPOs. All of that goes into it. And, they're running the ball a little bit more from under center now. I think that's probably related to Lamar's health, but that they get the quarterback under center and Ricard in the backfield and Henry behind him. And that's a lot of beef coming at you.
What's the early weather report for Baltimore?
I think it's going to be nicer. Yeah. I heard like 40s or 50s from some folks.
Good news for Drake.
Yeah, balmy. Wonder if he'll wear his sleeves.
Yeah, I asked the question about Henry because, and I agree with you, they're going to try to do a lot of the, similar kind of, between the tackles, power football. But does Cook's ability to sort of squirt through the hole a little bit quicker?
Yeah.
Henry's always been a guy, even at his height. He's been a guy who takes a little time. If you can get him in the backfield before he gets going, you can shut him down.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, do you think they
I
might have a better chance?
I like that observation, Paul.
Mitchell's a good player too, though. Their speed back.
He's
a good player too. But yeah, I hear you. I think that was the one thing, and Deuce, I think you kind of hit it at this yesterday. They just didn't make very many plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage against Buffalo. Like there just wasn't enough disruption, whether that was against the pass or the run.
Agreed.
But there wasn't enough TFLs. There wasn't enough stuffs. Like there just wasn't enough plays on the other side of the line of scrimmage for the Patriots. So if they can find ways to make that happen a little bit more consistently this week, then I hear what you're saying.
And I wonder, obviously if you get a 21-0 lead, the way they did against, I think it's game, set, match, against the Ravens.
This
because
team.
I don't think they have the ability, as Evan just said, to be a strict drop-back passing team.
Yeah.
You look at their receiving totals, Zay Flowers with 41, then it's the tight ends. You go all the way down to 18 for, Bateman and Hopkins and those guys. So they want to throw, sort of mix it in. They want to control the game the way they, with a
Whose
pattern.
defense is better, Bills or Ravens?
Ravens.
Yeah,
Now,
Ravens.
they didn't play well early in the year, but the Ravens have better personnel on defense.
The Ravens' defense since like week 6 has been one of the best defenses in the league. They started off horribly, like historically bad for their standards. I think they were giving up like 35 a game in the first 5 weeks of the season.
41-17 to Cleveland, then 38-37-44. That's how they started the season.
Yeah, it was like historically
Since then, it's
bad.
been okay.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like Ravens should be like 6-point favorites in this game.
No, it's like 2.5, I think.
Yeah, I think people are still struggling to really get a beat on them with Lamar back, and it's just one of those things where you just don't want to mark him down because the talent he possesses, but how hurt is he? And
I think if he was running and doing his typical Lamar Jackson year, they would be probably a touchdown favorite in this game. But that's not the case. And Mike, you mentioned like they've played a much more difficult schedule.
Yep.
But they only beat one really good team, and that's Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a lot of close. They lost 41-40 to the Bills. They lost 38-30 to the Lions. They got killed by the Texans without Lamar. They've had some opportunities against better teams, but the only one they were able to beat was Chicago, 30-16.
Yeah,
That's a good win.
Yeah, they've had a weird year. Lamar's been hurt. Matabike, their best pass rusher, is on injured reserve. He's out for the year. So their pass rush has fallen off a cliff here, and they've been kind of getting away with smoke and mirrors in their pass rush ever since. They haven't really had a Ravens type season. 7-7 is not what you expect from the Ravens. And I think the two biggest things that you look at, Lamar in the drop back passing game just hasn't really been there. If you can get them out of run, play action, like you can get them out of that sequencing and turn it into a drop back passing game, then you can have some success. And their past defense, they haven't really gotten a ton of pressure on the quarterback. So he should have time. Drake should have time back there. They should be able to block it. It's the same thing as last week. They're going to spin the dial. They're going to show them different pictures, and can the offense, can the receivers and Drake, can he react to it better this time around than what Buffalo did in the second half?
Yeah, I look at the Kyle Hamilton, playing sub linebacker a lot, on tight ends a lot. So how is he take Hunter Henry out of the equation? That was something we talked about. Is that part of the what do you call it? The
binky?
the formula? Or is that what it is?
The blueprint.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Part of the blueprint. That's always taking Hunter Henry out of it. But Kyle Van Noy still out there. Still,
I know. It's incredible.
Do you think that I'm out there?
It's incredible that he's still playing at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hamilton's an awesome player, and
Starks now. It seemed like Starks now the free safety, and they'll play a lot of
Gilman.
free safety
Gilman.
stuff.
When they
Gilman.
acquired Gilman before the trade deadline, that's really allowed Henderson to free
Hamilton.
up. Hamilton, not Henderson. Sorry.
Yeah. That was I was reading up a little bit on how they turned this thing around, because their numbers, like the splits between the first 5 weeks and then since then, are pretty remarkable.
So I read you those numbers off the top. So they're 6-2 in their last 8 games. This is what they allowed in those 8 games: 17, 16, 6, 19, 16, 10, 32, 27. Guess what happened in those 2 games? And then 0.
Mm-hmm.
So 6-0 while allowing 20 or fewer points, or actually under 20 in all of those games. And then the 2 that they allowed more, they lost because they don't have that kind of offense anymore. Not with Lamar not at full strength.
Yeah. It's interesting. They've only kind of ended up with Zay Flowers because it felt like the last few years they've been constantly trying, like Bateman and you got Hopkins there.
Bateman's been hurt, and I think he's hurt now. I don't think he's playing in this game, right?
I don't think so. He didn't play last week.
So they haven't been able to be consistent enough. I don't think Lamar's consistent enough as a strict passer.
Yeah.
He's one of the, and he's probably one of my favorite players in the league.
He's incredibly talented.
But he's one of those guys that loves to throw the middle of the field. If he can throw to the tight ends and Flowers over the middle of the field, the seams, the crossing routes, things like that, he can be lethal. But when you ask him to throw the ball outside the numbers and push the ball down the field outside the numbers, going all the way back to Louisville, he has not been a very good outside the numbers passer. So like that's the book, right? Like you got to stop the run, you got to flood the middle of the field, and you got to turn him into a drop back passer. He doesn't have the scrambling special trait as much anymore now, so you can hope that maybe you can actually catch him if he goes and tries to take off, unlike in years past. So that if you're trying to beat this team, like those are the objectives. Stop the run, take away the middle of the field, don't let him scramble on you.
Yeah. Do you think he's lost it permanently, or do you think this is just he's been hurt this year and he doesn't? Because I agree, like he's still really fast, but he just doesn't have the ludicrous speed gear anymore, or at least this season for what it's worth.
He's incredibly banged up. He's got like 3 different lower body injuries.
Like one leg?
Yeah, it's like knee, ankle, toe.
Plus it all started with a hamstring. Mm-hmm. He missed the month with a hamstring, which we saw that they linger.
Yeah. And then they apparently, other injuries start because you're compensating and all that. So that's going to be a challenge, no question. And I also I said it on the postgame show, just the atmosphere. The Patriots having to get their energy back up off of a loss on the road. They did it earlier in the season against Buffalo, but I think these games are a big challenge for the coaching staff to get them ready to, manage the energy, to counter what Baltimore, 7-7. They got to keep pace with Pittsburgh. There's a lot for the Ravens to play for and to come out and, beat the Patriots at home. So the Patriots are going to have to come ready to play.
Yeah, it's funny. It's the team that can't lose on the road, the Patriots, the only undefeated team on the road, and then the Ravens, a team that can't win at home.
Yeah.
They're 3-5 at home.
3-5.
Yeah.
Yep. So if the Patriots win this game, blank happened.
They make the playoffs. Oh, what happened? I think they
Drake
contain
Maye bounce back.
the run game, and that's probably the biggest X factor is just Drake Maye play well.
So last week's failure to stop the run, you're saying you think it was just a technique thing? It wasn't a
well, I don't think it was just
it wasn't
last
a
week.
want-to thing.
I think when you're missing talent, you need your defense to all play in sync and know what the calls are, and to build the wall, and to know who's going where. And it just reminded me of the defenses of the last couple of years where they just didn't have talent. They couldn't make plays. They couldn't play on their side of the field. It was just, you get lucky with a penalty. Or, Paul, we talk about this all the time. Like, the other team gets a holding penalty, and you're like, there it is. They're getting off the field. I don't know if it's that extreme with this group right now, but, that's kind of how it felt to me. Like, they couldn't make plays.
Yeah. But is that because, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Is it because of people, or is it because of X's and O's?
Well, I would say that, since Milton Williams has gone out, their run defense has fallen off a cliff. So that would suggest, and, it's Williams, it's Tonga's missed some time in there. Spillane has now missed some time in there. And now we're talking about the spine of the defense. So when you're going, James Cook is coming right down your throat. Well, Milton Williams and Spillane are supposed to be right there, and they're not right now. So I think that there's a lot of that going on. But in this game against the Bills, I didn't necessarily think this was the case before the Bills game, but in this game against the Bills, I couldn't tell you what they were trying to do from a fit perspective. Guys were out of gaps, guys were late to fill. Tonga's jumping in the backfield, but nobody's replacing him in the A gap.
It's almost like they were guessing and getting it wrong.
So, and there's probably some of that, and I also think as you get later in the year, the power teams sometimes I think can get an advantage as the year goes on because you're not quite as fresh, and it's a little bit harder to get off those blocks. And now in this particular case, you take Spillane out, right? So obviously he's a good player, and you're missing a good player, which That's, apparent. Like, you need a good player. But there's more snaps now for Gibbons. There's more snaps now for Ellis. There's more snaps for Tavai. Whereas that was kind of Spillane was an every down player. The other guys kind of rotated in. Yep. So those guys aren't quite as fresh as they might have been in another game. Mm-hmm. Did Tonga play more snaps in this
season
game?
high?
These kind of things you just kind of watch.
Yeah.
Don't check it. Just go with it.
You have a feel for it.
And now I have Evan to fact check me. It's great.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah, I do.
Like that's like I think that's part of it. It's not just missing good players. Obviously, you want your good players out there, but it's the trickle down effect.
Sure.
It just was weird. Like they kept on having Tonga like try to shoot the backside gap, and he would just shoot the gap, get washed out, and then nobody would take his spot. Like, and so then the A gap was just left uncovered, and I was just like, I couldn't tell you, like, without being in the meeting and knowing the calls and all, like, I don't know what was supposed to happen. It just wasn't happening. And like the linebackers were just seemed, like they were just getting reached by the linemen climbing up to the second level. And, they were just getting bullied. And I don't know if you're better on your details and you come in with the right mentality of stopping the run, like in theory, you should do better about that. But who knows? Like, all last year it was the same thing and they just didn't have the personnel to stop it.
Yeah. I've always felt the best way to stop a really good running game is by scoring. Yeah. Because that makes the running game uncomfortable.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And theoretically, my theory takes a big hit Sunday. Because theoretically you did that. Like you get a 21-0 lead.
Yeah, but you completely stopped in the second half.
But that should eliminate.
Not completely.
What I'm saying is, when you get up 21-0, you shouldn't be able to continue to run the ball and get back in the game. And Buffalo did.
Yeah.
But, they were able to, give them credit. They stayed patient enough with it because they probably feel like they have to.
But they did it in so quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was just. Does it feel like a function of the time of
in their first two drives, now they're down by one score. So now they can stick to the run.
Yeah.
But they weren't. They were still down by 2 scores after they scored twice. 24-14. Like, I give them credit for sticking with it.
They scored. It was 24-7 going into the second half, right?
Yeah.
Then they scored twice unanswered to make it 24-21.
Oh, well, now it's the fourth quarter. Like, now
it wasn't quite the fourth quarter. It was their first
pretty much. They scored twice in the third quarter and twice in the fourth quarter.
Right. It was their first 2 drives of the third quarter that they got within 1 score.
Yeah, I think most teams down 21-0 aren't going to pound James Cook away at you. They did. I give them credit for that.
Well, I think if we had scored we had scored coming out,
and we actually said thank you.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. Well,
I just don't think it's accurate. I give them credit. I do. I don't think most teams would continue to pound James Cook between the tackles.
They were able to do it because we didn't score when we had the ball.
Right. That's why I said the best defense of a running game is an offense.
Right.
But my theory took a hit on Sunday.
Yeah,
because that didn't work out that way.
I'm actually sticking up for you,
I know, I'm sticking up for you, too. I still
think they stopped scoring, and the Bills sub. We got this offense now.
Yeah.
We can stick to our run.
And it was, throw to score, run to win. They couldn't run to win either, as part of it, too. I mean, I still think, like, had the Patriots sustained some of that throwing and scoring into the third quarter, that they might have still won, in spite of allowing those yards. So, I mean, I still think your theory about that is accurate. It's just if you,
I think it'd be different this week because I don't think Lamar is Lamar right now.
Yeah. No, that's Josh Allen.
If he was, then, if he could rip off, so I say that I don't like their chances, the Ravens, like in a drop back game. Normally, I would be fine with that, even though I don't think that's great because Lamar can drop back, 15 plays in a row, and he might get a 25-yard run or 2 in some of those dropbacks. I don't think he can do that right now. Just look at his numbers. He's only averaging 5.5 yards a carry. That's a really low number for him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's a career low number. That's another one, and I won't check it. I'll just go with it.
And they also aren't running him as much by design because they don't want to risk it, So there's that angle of it too. But I give Buffalo a lot of credit as well because I thought it was really telling that they came out of halftime running because they kind of know that right now is that's how, okay, let's get control of this game. Mm-hmm. Very first play of the second half is outside zone to James Cook. Like, it wasn't, let's drop back Allen, right? Like, and he's a great player, but, like, it does seem like Buffalo right now is like our run game is the best thing that we have going.
Yeah.
And they, in order to settle that game down, they went to James Cook. They didn't go to Josh Allen.
Yeah, it made stay balanced, but I'd also say that a lot of the key plays were Josh Allen just doing Josh Allen things with, the 4th down throws. And I mean, I think they stayed balanced. I don't think they, necessarily, I mean, you're right. Like they know what their identity is. And I think that's really hard to do, especially when you're chasing. And it's something we talk about with the Patriots sometimes where it's like just staying balanced enough so that you're, staying balanced, running enough so that you're staying balanced, especially in the second half. But, a lot of different ways you can solve that problem. Just score or be able to run the ball yourself or just sustain a possession for 5 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm counting on this game. I'm counting on a bounce back game from Drake Maye. I'm counting on them putting up, over that 20 whatever threshold that they need to beat this team.
Yeah.
I do think that there's, I think he'll have opportunities to throw the ball on Sunday night because I don't think their pass rush is particularly good. And in order to get pass rush, they kind of need to scheme it up and they need to blitz. So if you're going up against Drake, I think that's a tough way to live.
Now, you mentioned it's going to be a little mild. That's during the day. It is going to be below freezing at night.
Once it gets to the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that thing is starting to bug me, but it's okay.
Okay,
It's too cold.
the whole playing in the cold thing?
It's such a small sample size.
Right.
Like, can we give it more than like 1 or 2 games?
Well, are people definitively saying he can, or are they wondering?
The people are at the point now where we're trending towards bad weather quarterback.
You got to refresh your timeline. I think you need a timeline refresher.
It's not just my timeline. We have people calling into the show on Catch 22 talking about it.
Yeah.
And like, I'm going to kind of like throw out his rookie season because that team stunk.
Oh, yeah. Last year was ridiculous.
And so, like, I'm not going to hold it against him that he didn't, like, they got their doors blown off of them by the Chargers when it was cold out. Like, that was one good team versus one bad team.
I would totally agree with that. That to me is irrelevant.
So he's really played, like, one truly cold weather game, and it was last week. So because he played one bad game against, really one bad half against Buffalo, now he's a bad cold weather quarterback.
Wasn't it kind of cold in the Giants game?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe pretty well in that one.
Yeah.
It's going to need a little bit more of a sample size.
It's funny what comes out of the woodwork when you lose one game and all of a sudden it's just you, and that's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem, you're a problem.
Bingo. It's the incessant need to identify the thing that cost them the victory.
Right.
For Patriots fans, it's generally the officials.
Yeah.
But there has to be one thing that cost you a game.
Yeah.
It can never be the other team did something.
No, and it's just as extreme on the other end when you're on the win streak and it's like, you're awesome, this is awesome, everything's awesome. And now it's like, no, you suck now.
Everything's the best.
Yeah. It's extremes. That's why, like, I was a little upset, like you were, Fred, in the post-game show, but I think, after you realize, like, what a great season this has been, and they still have an opportunity to do everything, that they wanted, that you expect that they should be able to at the end of the season, like, it's hard. I mean, we've said all season long, they've got a ways to go. We saw this team in the, early on in the season saying they need some other upgrades at other positions on defense, especially where, they're putting guys in as stopgaps right now, and I think that was what was exposed against a good team.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed.
Every team has injuries. It's a fact of life in the NFL. You have to have serviceable depth. You have to be able to withstand this. Other than your quarterback, you have to be.
I will give them some credit, though. I think their depth has been a little bit better than what we thought. Like, Vidarian Lowe's been fine. Like, I
had no problem with the offensive line.
He's not a difference maker, but, like, he's been really serviceable. The false start was tough. But Will Campbell's false starts, too.
False start was tough.
5 yards.
But the 2 games that those backups played, statistically are as good as any game they've played all year.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have said they're the 2 best games in terms of the pressure rate allowed, but I'm just going by my eyeball test. I thought they were fine.
I thought this was one of the best games they played against Buffalo. I mean, they ran the ball well for the whole game, really. Yeah. They just didn't run it in the second half, and they protected Drake pretty well in this game, too. So, I think a lot of people, if you told them that, like, Vidarian Lowe was going to have to start the last 5 games of the regular season, they'd be like, look out, like, oh, God. And to his credit, he's been okay.
Some of the comments about him are just outright nasty. I mean, before this game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was bad last year, but he's been better. I think that I don't think that he's a full-time player, but I think Jack Gibbons is like a serviceable third linebacker. I don't think you want him out there 100% of the snaps, but when you have to play him in spots. I
Yeah.
don't think he's a liability.
What the Chargers wouldn't give for Darian Lowe right now.
Right,
They're like
right.
trading for guards to make tackles. Like, when you really heard about how extreme the injury was that he's playing through last year with, on his shoulder, and people were like, oh, I feel bad now. I'm like, well, why are you like?
Guy was walking around with a harness, like a shoulder harness on and stuff. Chuck E. Cheese, not terrible for the couple of drives that he had to play against Buffalo. So at least it's been a little bit better maybe than what we expected.
You guys raise a good
Durden,
Ben Brown.
Ben Brown.
You guys have raised good points. I think that they have gotten some contributions from some of the reserves that everybody was so worried about.
Should they try to get the wide receivers, plural, involved early in this game?
Try. I mean,
I would just say, like, I don't know if we talked about this a lot yesterday, but I thought it was kind of weird that Pop Douglas barely played in the game on Sunday, especially because they were having so much issues with guys getting open in the second half of that game. Now, I think a lot of it was because they were like disguising zone, and that's like not really his strength, but he ran 5 routes the entire game. And like when you can't move the ball on offense and he's your best
mix it up a little
separator,
bit.
like to not at least give him some opportunities to go out there and win some routes was pretty surprising. I don't know how much you're going to get out of Hollins, Booty, and Diggs. Like I think that those guys, they each kind of have their moments and they each have their games and things like that. But I don't know if like you can expect much more from those players. But the Douglas thing did surprise me. Like I thought that in the second half they could have used his energy a little bit.
Time for Chisholm.
Absolutely. Always.
We
time
haven't heard
for
that
Chisholm.
in a while.
He threw it out there Sunday when there were people sort of giving Mike a little bit of you'll like this F. If Spillane wasn't going to play, why was he dressed? They could have dressed someone, and I was just like, well, who was inactive in the game that you think could have made a difference? And Fred goes, Chisholm.
Yeah. Those ones are always hard because I don't think they really planned on him playing, but you could tell in warm-ups he wasn't right.
Yeah.
But then inactives have already happened, so there's no choice.
So what about this week?
Well, I think that they looked at it and said, if something happens here to Ellis or Gibbons, he's going to need to play. And hopefully we won't need him to play. But you weigh that. Okay, so what would need to have happened to have to, press Marcus Bryant into play? So now 2 of your tackles need to get hurt.
Yeah.
For you to need another tackle, right? Because they had
Munford.
Obviously Munford had a big role in the game.
Yeah.
So who's Eric Gregory?
Yeah,
I think was one of the inactives. Chisholm. I mean, you're down 6. I think they weighed it and they looked at it. We have a better chance of one guy getting banged up at linebacker, a very physical position, than needing a third, extra tackle.
Yeah, and to that point, they signed Chad Muma off of the practice squad in Indy. I don't know if that signals Spillane's going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah.
We weren't quite happy with what we got out of Ellis. I mean,
Yeah.
It's definitely not a great sign. But is it about the guys who are playing, or is it about we're protecting those guys because they're going to have to continue to play more? If one of them gets hurt, we need to have
All fair questions.
another NFL experienced player. But
Vrabel pointed to the linebacker depth, like he admitted on Monday that they don't have a lot of depth
I think
at
he
linebacker.
said specifically it's probably one of the thinner positions. I don't know exactly the wording, but yes.
I do wonder if I don't know off the top of my head, but Ellis and Jack Gibbons usually have large roles on special teams as well as
that's
defense.
Another great point.
Trickle down.
So I do wonder if maybe
Voodoo
Muma
economics.
can play in the kicking game, and that would take Ellis out of the kicking game, and then that would allow Ellis to just focus on playing on defense.
That's a good observation too.
Yeah.
I mean,
you had a tough day in kick coverage. Is that because the guys that are on the kick coverage team had to play more snaps on defense? That's a very fair question.
So do you think, going back to the Bills, if all the other things that happened that were negative got cleaned up, but they still weren't able to stop the run, do you think they could have won that game?
Yeah. I mean,
So those other things seem fixable.
I mean, I think that there's a baseline of solid that they could get to with the current personnel that they have. Yes, and I'd point back to Paul's thing. I mean, to me, it's about Drake and the offense, and they got to score points in the second half.
That would be my answer. Like that's the worst half, probably the worst half of football they've played. Yeah. I mean, offensively, 18 snaps.
Yeah.
Like I think that's fixable.
Yeah.
I think you can be better offensively than that.
Yeah, better be better kickoff coverage than that too.
Yeah, but I'm saying all you had to do was move the ball a little bit.
A little bit.
You didn't have to light up the scoreboard in the second half. Obviously, that would have been great if you could have put another 17 on the board in the second half. But if you just possess the ball for 5 minutes in a chunk, you take the other team's will.
Yeah.
They're looking up at the clock and they're like, there aren't enough possessions left here.
Yeah, then they start having to throw, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Just looking at the linebacker snaps. So Jack Gibbons played 70 snaps, 100% of the snaps on defense. He also played 19 snaps on special teams. So he
almost played 100 snaps.
He played 89 snaps in the game. And then
there you go.
Ellis had 60 on defense and 8 on special teams. So the Muma thing to me is like, let's try to get those guys.
Plug him into one of those coverage units.
Yeah. And try to get Jack Gibbons off as many special teams.
So
units
Gibbons
as
played more than Ellis.
He did. He played every snap because he
I
wore
think
the green.
Gibbons has been playing more than Ellis for a while.
He also wore the green dot, so that's probably why he was playing.
That's a great point.
Yeah, calling the defense.
That's why we have him.
All right. So let's get people involved, unless there's other things that we need to bring up. Any other
Can we
news?
talk about the Tua thing?
Yeah, Tua.
Oh,
That's crazy.
His benching. That is wild.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, Paul? Explain this to me.
Yeah, Paul, you're good
What
at
does this
these
mean?
things.
You're good at
Are they
lefty
giving this guy a
quarterbacks.
shot? Are they done with Tua? Are they just like, what's the point? Well, let's get him rested up and get him ready for next year. Like, what does this mean?
I think it's A and B. It's not C. I think they're done with Tua. Let's give someone else a shot. Let's make sure he doesn't get hurt because we're going to get rid of him.
Yeah.
If we can. Now, the money situation is messy, but if the Broncos could do what they did with Russell Wilson, then certainly Miami. The question for me with Miami will be, is this a package deal? Is everybody gone? Or is this McDaniel winning out? Because clearly McDaniel's done with Tua.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game at all the other night, but evidently there was some really weird things going on with Tua.
His body language was
timeouts and stuff like Jalen.
Well, that's what
Jalen Waddle was kind of like looking like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I even think that the approach, I saw a lot of criticism of like, are you guys trying to win the game? Are you trying to run the clock out? Like, what are you doing? Like, it just didn't seem like they had a real...
There was one moment. Did you watch the game?
I watched the first half, yeah.
Did you see the part where it was Tua on the bench and it looked like he was looking right at the camera for like an extended period of time?
No, I didn't.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Did he get hit in the game?
It was really weird.
Yeah.
No,
I'm asking dead seriously, not snarky.
Not that I saw.
not like
I was wondering
badly.
if maybe he was dealing with something.
Yeah.
With his history, it's a fair question.
So I brought this up to Barth, but maybe I didn't explain it very well. To me, it's kind of weird that you would let Mike McDaniel bench Tua,
Right.
if Mike McDaniel is also out, right?
Yeah.
You see, like
That's
that.
why I answered that the way I did.
You understand what
I
I'm
totally
saying?
agree.
Like, if Mike McDaniel is benching your star quarterback that's getting paid $56 million, like that's a pretty big organizational decision for a lame duck coach to be making.
Right.
So unless he's hurt, and we just don't know yet that he's hurt, like a performance-based
you would
benching
say that to
is
save face for him. You wouldn't-
Right.
Yeah.
like a performance-based benching is burning a bridge, in my opinion, in pro sports. Like you do that to a quarterback of Tua's name recognition.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how him and Mike McDaniel come back from that. And so if Mike McDaniel is going to be the coach there next year, then how the hell is Tua going to be the quarterback?
Think there's much. I'm not telling you there's no chance, but I don't think there's much of a chance of that happening. Both of them coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's either both are gone or Tua's gone.
That's wild.
They got rid of Judon too.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill with
Saw
kind of
that.
a cryptic post on social media, just a meme of like two people and then one just disappears. I think retweeting that they were benching Tua, so I don't know what that means. Get into Tyreek's health. Tyreek Hill's head, try to figure that out.
I think they're going to work. Listen, the whole like second act for quarterback thing, I think is pretty real, and I think a lot of teams now are looking hard. I read something on ESPN.com today about Mac Jones. He's under contract for San Francisco, very small money. Did Kyle Shanahan do it again? Did he resurrect another career? Because he played pretty well. I'm as critical of Mac Jones as anybody, but I would tell you he played pretty well in place of Brock Purdy.
Type guy.
Does someone, Arizona, the Jets, Miami, do one of these teams look at Mac Jones and say, maybe he can be our Sam Darnold, and his second act might be able to do something for us, while we figure out how we're going to get the next quarterback.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a very tough one, Mac. I agree.
Yeah, because I was trying to think.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
In Arizona, is he going to go somewhere?
I was trying to think of like where Tua would make sense, and he kind of has to be in that kind of offense. It's like a timing based, like get the ball out quick, hit yak receivers. Like that's sort of got to be the offense. And like there aren't a ton of options because a lot of those teams, like unless Purdy's going, like a lot of those teams have quarterbacks that they're running with at this point. So like you have Green Bay, you have San Francisco, you have LA with the Rams. Like that's the offense, that's the tree. But all those teams kind of have established quarterbacks like already there.
Minnesota?
If are they giving up on 9? Is he done already?
Bounce back on 9.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Bounce back on 9. Well, I mean, he's played better, I would say, the last 2 games, and I don't think that you can completely pull the plug. But I'm also not saying they ain't going to pull the plug. I think I think they wanted to have one of those 2 guys stay last year. I think they wanted to have Darnold or Jones stay. And both of them, I think, correctly said, I'm not staying. Yeah. I'm going to go and try to be a starter somewhere, right?
I still just feel like Tua is one hit away, and it's hard to take a second chance on him. Or, I mean, even Kyler Murray, too. Darnold has the size, and I mean, we had concussions, too, but those guys are always going to get beat up, it seems like. And that interception that Tua threw the other night, I mean, when he let go, I was like, oh, my God, this is not, we're used to
evidently, I missed quite an eventful game.
I've only talked about the interception.
You missed the bloodbath is what you missed. I mean, I just, I don't know where Miami goes from here, and they're a division team, so it's, at least somewhat irrelevant to the Patriots because they won some games, so they're not going to be picking in the top 5, so they're not going to be in the like Mendoza, that sort of sweepstakes necessarily. It's not a great quarterback class. Do they reclamation project it for a year and see? I guess maybe, but like the Tua thing's over.
So that's why I would say
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Listen, I know what you think of Quinn Ewers. I'm not going to try I'm not going to trigger you, but let him play 3 games and see what it looks like. Yeah. And then you can sort of say, okay, do I need to get really aggressive in the draft to try to move up to get, I don't know, Drew Aller or someone, or do I just look at it like Evan just said, and like, this isn't a great class. Let's not force it. If he's got to be our quarterback, if we can get one of the, could they go with Kyler Murray? Could they get one of the second act quarterbacks and just say, well, he's going to be the placeholder. We got this young guy that, we don't think he's that good, but let him play 3 games. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, I would say that the reclamation project is probably where it's headed. Some people like the kid from Oregon, quarterback in the draft. A lot of the Arch went back. Lenore Sellers went back.
Arch is going back.
Yeah, Mendoza's awesome, but he's going to probably go number 1 overall, and they're not going to have that pick. So
going to be around from Miami.
Yeah, like it's not a Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams situation where there's a bunch of great quarterbacks in the draft.
How can Mike McDaniel be the last man standing of Chris Greer and Tua and maybe Tyreek and that's interesting to me. That
especially
what has he done?
And I think I told you guys this story earlier in the year that I had some people talking to me about the way the problems in Miami. It's not because they don't think McDaniel knows what he's doing. Sure. They think he's a pretty good coach, but they think he's too easy on the players. And it's almost like he's just the head coach of the offense. He's one of those situations.
Yeah.
And I guess with some of the static that's been created is because Anthony Weaver is he's an actual football coach, and he treats the defense, like men and like they practice. And like there'll be like a random Thursday, and McDaniel will be like, oh, okay, you guys have done enough, go home. And now the defense is working their asses off, and the offense gets to go home. Like, you can't do that.
I think they have like summer Fridays on the the offense where it's like they all get to leave at 3 for like mental health and family purposes, and which is like a nice idea, but it's like professional football. Like you gotta.
And Weaver is like, no, we can't do that. We're not ready. It's not like it's not like McDaniel only does it for the offense. He wants everybody to do it, but Weaver is like, we're not prepared for the game yet. We need to practice more.
Yeah.
And the defense gets sort of, it's that obvious rift there. Always. They get,
I think it's always hard with a guy
Resentful?
like McDaniel because he's such a good coordinator on the offensive side of the ball that like you're not going to do better in terms of scheme than him, but he just might not be.
He might not be head coach. He'd be one of those guys, and I know it's rare, but like find a head coach and then retain him as your offensive coordinator. And I don't think that would be the worst thing. I mean, look at Vance Joseph has been doing in Denver.
Yeah.
You know,
You can go home again.
You know, everybody would be like automatically like, well, yeah, that doesn't work.
He's having the time of his life.
You can't fire the guy and then keep him. Well, some teams do it. Virginia Tech is doing it in college. They fired the head coach, and he's staying with Franklin as his coordinator.
Spee in Fresno.
I forget which side of the ball. So that's why I just said coordinator.
Going back to the Patriots, Spee in Fresno says Drake had the ball in his hands with 2 minutes to go in a one-score game for the division, and then completely fizzled in 2 consecutive pathetic-looking passing plays. Does it have you concerned? I'm not asking for 2-minute Tom, but so far in clutch big game comeback situations, we have to call Drake 0-1. The truth is never mean.
1-1 because he beat the Bills in Week 5.
Technically,
He wasn't coming back.
Not
He's
coming.
tied.
He's tied. Yeah.
Really?
2020.
I just like I put this in the weather category. Like I need to see a little more before I decide that a guy fails in those situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Consistently.
Give me a couple.
I'm with you. I think that some of this kind of does stem from the fact, though, that this was sort of his MO at North Carolina also.
I know.
And
I'm not ignoring it.
Yeah, and I think that that's where the sample is growing, is that at North Carolina he was undeniably talented, and they didn't win a whole lot. And it was like kind of one of those weird situations of like, how does this guy play so well in these games? And we look up at the scoreboard and we're down by 10 points in the fourth quarter. Like, how does this keep happening? Now, seems like Vrabel and McDaniels have corrected that aspect because they're 11-3. But, those big games, NC State, end of the year, rivalry games. Like, I think he beat Duke.
Yeah.
His sophomore season, his first season as the starter, they beat Duke, and that's like his signature win at North Carolina was beating Duke. So I get it.
It's something to watch over these last 4 games. I mean, I've said it a few times now. I look at before the bye as its own preseason kind of thing. And, now let's judge him in these games. I mean, maybe not so much against the Jets, but, this game in Baltimore is another opportunity for him. And then they're probably going to the playoffs too. So, but you got to break the trend at some point.
Joe in Michigan, 10 wins and a loss, and McDaniels can't call plays. A top 5 D in scoring can't do the job anymore. Maye can't play in weather. Buffalo D becomes a new coming of the Ditka Bears. Really? I am exaggerating, but so does the Boston media, nauseating Tom Curran and the rest who are sensationalizing. I haven't listened. Is he sensationalizing?
I don't know. I heard, and I don't know if this was Tom, I heard some chatter yesterday about McDaniels' longevity as Mike Vrabel's offensive coordinator. And this goes back, like, this is not new. Like, the 10-game winning streak kind of put it on the back burner. But in September, this was a conversation as well, and now they lost the game, so it's coming back up.
But I don't think it's performance-based. I think it's
personality-based.
That whole thing that was big earlier in the year that, like, is this the guy that Vrabel really wanted? That's what people are in this particular one. I think the reason why it bubbled back up is from Mike's appearance in this studio on EEI on Monday when he goes, like, there's only so many double passes you can run for 13 yards. Like that, those kinds of comments, I think some people. I know, but I wasn't on the air, Mike. I say this to Fred all the time. Sometimes you say things off the air that aren't meant to be on.
I forget where the line is.
Now, I can say it, but the head coach saying it, don't you think it can come off as kind of snarky?
Well, I remember early in the season, Vrabel said that he was going to regret doing EEI first thing in the morning the day after games, and I think this one on Monday might be in that category.
Not even a week.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, with that and coupled with the official stuff.
Are people implying that Mike Vrabel would fire Josh McDaniels after this season?
No, I don't think we've gone that far. But I think
that's a tough sell.
That Paul's shows have been big on what Paul just said,
and they're definitely hammering it because I can tell you the pre-show emails are about that.
Is it an arranged marriage between McDaniels and
So even if you
Vrabel?
didn't want him, and
it's worked out.
but he's done what
been
he's done,
tremendous.
right?
Yeah.
So how you get rid of Josh McDaniels and you bring in the flavor of the month next year as the offensive coordinator, and Drake regresses and the offense isn't they take this magical step
This is
forward.
not a
Then Mike
logical
Vrabel, now Mike Vrabel's
conversation.
job's on the
See,
line.
yeah,
This is not logical.
you're bringing logic to the
I know,
table.
This is crazy. It's
crazy.
It's one of those things. If you're just going off of the performance, I don't. There's no need to even discuss this.
yeah.
They've had a second-year quarterback who's played at an MVP level for 14 games. Like, we're not discussing this.
Yeah.
Right.
The question is, and none of us has the answer to it, does Vrabel really want him? And if that's the case, I don't think that he would fire him. I don't think that there's any chance of that. But would Josh recognize that I'm not really wanted? He didn't really want me, and he makes it clear at every stop that he doesn't really want me, and he just goes somewhere else. That would be my only concern. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll be here as the offensive coordinator next year, and I think he's done a remarkably good job.
Do you think there's generally, though, always a little bit of tension when you have a defensive head coach who, like
Yes.
Mike Vrabel, who is a defensive guy, and like you know how defensive guys talk about the offense, like they're not that they don't respect them, but there's always that like, oh, the pretty boys on offense kind of thing, you know?
We used to say Bill hates quarterbacks.
yeah, right.
Well,
right.
listen,
So
it's the same
true.
thing. You know, people have noticed that in these post-game things, he's yet to give Drake Maye a ball.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like, so I don't know. Maybe that's
It's
just
so-
his way of coaching.
The offense defense.
But he's gonna
thing
get
is
one
so
this week.
true.
Yeah.
Like the offense, it's dipsy do.
Yeah,
It's
right.
we're drawing it. We're in the
Right.
lab and we're cooking. The defensive guys are like,
Mike
let's,
McDaniels of the
let's hit
world.
somebody. You know,
Yeah, right.
In all seriousness, if we were gonna
Yeah.
so, and I didn't see the entirety of like the transcript of what he said on EEI. I saw like everybody else. I'm listening to these clips, these bites, and that. So, how unfair would it be if you looked at that and said, "Well, I mean, there's only so many double passes you can run for 13 yards." Like, really, Mike? So the first half offensive performance, that was your takeaway?
Yeah.
A meaningless double pass that the crowd may
Right.
have went, woo!
He got 10 yards on it.
But how about like the two quarterback designed runs in the red zone? How about the 30-yard bomb down the sideline to Booty? How about the 52-yard run, which couldn't have been designed, executed, and run any better from an efficiency standpoint offensively? I would venture to say that all 11 guys were perfect on that play.
Yeah.
Like, how about that if you're going to talk about the offensive performance and not like a semi-meaningless trick play that, you know, obviously you're dialing up looking for a big play.
Yeah.
It wasn't there, and he checked it down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that Mike was. I just think sometimes
Yeah. Well,
you get a little bit ahead of you over your skis,
Well,
and I think
right.
Evan's right.
Well,
Sometimes maybe you shouldn't do those first thing in
This
the
is
morning.
right. Well, this is Vrabel's style, right? And like
Yeah, it's
Bill
just-
would
it is his
Bill would
style.
never blame positive anything. You know, it was all just it could be better. But I think Vrabel sometimes this is how he is. You know.
Go ahead. You'll do what Bill would do. Bill would do the same message just in this way.
Yeah.
But-
hand it off. Guy runs 52 yards with a touchdown.
That's pretty good.
You know what's
He
on,
went-
you know,
he went
you know, you know
untouched,
what's,
like,
you
how
know what's
hard was
unsaid.
it?
You know what's unsaid. Yeah, I mean, how hard is it to call that?
Yeah.
He wouldn't have said that, but that's the tone.
He
in which
would
it
have
would
said,
been
"How hard
delivered.
is it to run when it like he went untouched for 52 yards?" I mean, anybody could have done
You know,
that.
the quarterback didn't have open heart surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things that he said. His disdain for offense was obvious for anybody who was listening.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that
Also,
out.
the top 5 scoring
God
defense
forbid
thing.
you give credit to
Oh,
the
yeah.
Like,
Right.
we all know that this defense ain't top 5.
All right.
Are they currently top 5?
I don't know if they're still top 5 after last
Points,
week.
I think they're like
855 Pats 500. Dan's in New
7.
Jersey. What's up, Dan?
Hey guys, so regardless of what happens on Sunday, and I've kind of, I was thinking we got to win, but now I'm not so sure because what do we have to get? Let's say we lose, then we have to beat, Brady Cook and Zach Wilson back to back.
Quinn Ewers.
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
close.
But
Yeah.
your point stands.
No, I just want to win.
Jets, Dolphins, they have to win.
To me,
Win or lose Sunday, they have to beat the Jets and the Dolphins.
yeah, I want a quality win. This would be a quality win.
And it would clinch a playoff spot, which is not the division, but
Yeah.
it's Sunday Night Football. You win against a good team.
Everyone will be
Clinch
back
the
on the train.
playoffs.
You're awesome. You're
I
awesome.
don't
Right.
want to be 2-2 coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
I think all of those points.
And even
are
the two
very
wins
fair.
are you build a Jets team that is completely crumbling and a Miami team
It would have
with
a little the 21 vibe.
Yep.
Yeah, they beat the Jaguars with an interim head coach.
I don't want to tiptoe to the playoffs. I want to sprint.
Yeah. I mean, that said, sorry, I'll let Dan finish before I come in.
So I just had a question. If so, coming off a tough loss like that, and of course they could always lose in the wild card for any given number of reasons you've enumerated. You know, the run stop and second half offense. But coming off that loss, would you rather face the Bills again, even with all their playoff experience and Josh Allen, or roll the dice with an unproven commodity like, even on the road, like Denver?
Like who?
Like the Broncos.
Wrong.
Oh, well, the Broncos are gonna have a number. Are gonna have a
The
bye.
Broncos are going to be the number 1 seed.
Yeah. But good reaction, Deuce. That was how I
And
feel
at least
too.
at least they played in the playoffs last year. I mean, like all the teams that you're going to face, have more playoff experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently.
Yeah.
Even the Chargers
and Houston. Both
Houston's got a lot.
Yeah.
Jacksonville maybe is. They played 2 years ago, right?
2 or 3. Yeah. Trevor has played one playoff game.
Blew a lead, didn't they?
Oh, right, because he
They
won.
won one and then they lost the next one.
Yeah.
In Kansas City.
Right.
Where playoff teams go to die.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing that you don't want to play Houston. Everybody's terrified of Houston now.
They're good.
Oh yeah.
I'm not terrified of anybody, but Houston wouldn't.
Thanks, Dan.
Houston wouldn't be my choice.
You're gonna have to play somebody.
Right.
I'd rather be the Chargers or the
I don't even want to play
Jaguars.
the game. I just want to get to the playoffs, and whoever we face, we face. Yeah. If we're not a better team, then that's it.
Yeah.
Like I get what you're saying about the Chargers because they're so decimated, but like if they made the playoffs, the team that you're playing is going to be pretty good. Like
most of the time,
like
no question about it.
Well, in this year, like because you're not going to play Pittsburgh, so like the team that you're going to
you can't play Pittsburgh. That's the only team
Denver
that's not
with Tim Tebow.
That's not a
right.
That's the only non-playoff caliber team. To
the
me.
only way that you play a team that might be lesser than is if Philip Rivers somehow gets the Colts into the playoffs, which he's not going
and
to.
I don't see that happening.
So unless the quarterback gets hurt, late in the year or
to
something.
your point, the Chargers, when we've been talking about how decimated they are, but look at what they've done the last 2 games.
Well, Herbert's just awesome.
But they took care of Philadelphia, and then they took care of Kansas City. And you say what you will about how damaged Kansas City is, to be the one that actually put the knife in the heart and ended it. That's not an easy win at Kansas City. They had to beat them. They're the ones that had to knock them out.
Well,
and they did it.
According to Chris Jones, he didn't know that they were eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah,
so.
sorry about that. We can't. No, it's over. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Chris.
Like there had to he didn't know.
Get on the playoff prediction machine. Come on.
Just one game at a time.
I
Eldred in
spent
North
some time in the
Carolina. What's
machine
up,
this morning.
Eldred?
It's fun, isn't it?
Hey, Fred, fellas, how y'all doing?
Good.
What's up, Eldred?
Yeah, 2 things. That is going around about Vrabel against McDaniels, and I'm a McDaniels guy too. But McDaniels didn't let his Vrabel's defense didn't stop him 5 times. They got in the end zone.
Yep.
He got a gripe. He should gripe himself. You know what I mean? Because he let him score 5 touchdowns, not 5 field goals, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I would say that Vrabel was pretty critical of the defense in the postgame. In fairness, I mean,
But not on the radio.
I agree.
I didn't hear the radio interview.
I
like,
agree
in
with
its
Eldred's
entirety.
bigger point. I think he's been really critical at times of Josh McDaniels and Drake Maye in the offense, and the defense has been the weaker side of the ball for sure. Like
critical of the offense?
Here and there, little.
maybe not during the 10-game winning streak when things really got rolling, but I think that he's been.
There's been more criticism of the offense than the defense.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
And the defense is the side of the ball that needs more fixing for sure.
Yeah.
I just thought that in fairness, I thought Vrabel was critical of the defense in the post game. This game.
Yeah.
And the kickoff coverage.
I haven't heard a lot of
Yeah.
criticism of anything really from Vrabel.
Well, but I mean,
Other
it
than-
depends what you call criticism.
They're 11-2.
That comment that we're talking about the double pass is.
It's going around
It's
the
not
radio.
really critical.
I said other than this game. Before this game.
I mean, I'd have to go
can I
back
say
and
one more
find them,
thing?
but I could find
Really?
several, at least a dozen examples.
Oh, okay.
I think it hasn't happened as much recently, but they've been
they've
winning.
been
like-
winning.
Right.
I think he was pretty critical in the Raiders and the Steelers game that they both lost.
Remember the
about
whole
turnovers? Yeah.
But remember the whole run plan thing? We have to have a run plan that we can all get behind or whatever the quote was.
All right.
Yeah, that was the Raiders game, I think.
But this was all the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
To be fair.
But nothing
Right.
about
Thanks, Eldred.
blitzing on 3rd and 10 at the end of the game to give up the first down that ended the game.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take a break. Let's see. Vrabel's going to be at 110. So we'll go to that when that happens as well. More to talk about here on Patriots Unfiltered. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon. Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
And now, great moments in history.
So to make the trade happen, but they got an all-star.
When is the trade
hitter.
deadline, by the way?
July, end of July.
And
I
it's
just
a
don't know
long time.
why trading for
It's a month and a half. It's a month and a half from
now. You don't know how calendars work.
Yeah.
It's less than a month away. The trade deadline.
He said end of July.
Usually
It's the middle of July, but
Well,
it's
he just
also
said
but it's the end of June now.
Well,
It's the end of June.
It's like the
17th.
The 17th.
I'll look
That's
up
the
the
middle
dates.
of middle of June.
So it's less than a month away.
I said a month and a half.
I mean,
Because he said it was the end of July. Do
All
you
right,
know?
so
Do you know
5
math?
weeks.
So the 31st is a month and a half. Okay.
Okay,
You're right. It's a
thank
month
you.
and a
It's
half
July.
away.
It's July 31st.
All right,
July.
it's a month and a
It's a month and a
half.
half. Why do you have to wait till? You're right.
It's a long time.
I said you're right. No, it's not a long time.
It is.
That's another great moment from
All right, back here on Patriots Unfiltered. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Podcast@patriots.com is the email address.
You won that one by TKO.
Sure Sure.
I was being moronic.
I love then you jump to the
fun with calendars.
Fun with calendars.
Right. Well, then you jump to the is a month and a half a long time or not a long
Right.
time?
But I did admit that I was wrong because for
they
some
went to the
reason
next
I was
lily
thinking
pad,
the
though.
All-Star break was the trade deadline,
Yeah.
and it's not until the 31st. But anyway, fun with calendars with Paul.
Yeah.
Math, not my strong suit.
No, that's why I print my calendar out.
We got some emails about the McDaniels thing. People incredulous that they're making anything out this, that it'd be crazy to get. I agree. I mean,
I think
listen, I can understand if Vrabel came in and had his heart set on whoever, and there was a discussion. I don't know any of this to be true, and it turns out McDaniels. I can understand. Oh, I wish I had my guy, but now that we've gone through the season, it's worked out for everybody.
Correct.
It's made Mike Vrabel a winning head coach. It's made Drake Maye a better quarterback. It's set up your offense for the future. Okay, so everything's good now. Let's go.
I
would
just
agree.
think no matter who the offensive coordinator is, Vrabel's probably going to tweak them with this kind of stuff. Like, especially,
think that's
you know
just
what I mean?
Vrabel.
Like, that's Vrabel.
Okay.
Breaking
news.
We're okay.
Sorry there, Evans Mike. But that's how he is, I mean, that line of, busting chops about a fake play that only got. I mean, that's
Mike
classic
Vrabel.
him. Like,
That's what you.
Well,
that's
Arthur Smith wanted to do it, so that's a good call.
That's part of the package for Mike Vrabel. He's
Yeah,
going to
it
be.
seems like he's
going
I'll
to be
take your word for it, but I wonder if Ashton Grant called that if we have the same reaction. But
Yeah,
anyway, I would say those are two different things.
Yeah.
Like you could say that
that you could kind of
Well, let's go to Mike
your
Vrabel.
approach going forward against the Ravens?
Well, I think that what we try to do is we learn from every game, every opportunity, not just specifically the Buffalo game. There's a lot of instances throughout the year that we've learned from, and last week's game will be no different. And again, here as it relates to play calling, I think every time in every game, offensively, defensively, special teams, my decisions, there's always decisions that you want to have back and, how I could have made this better, and whether that's as a player or as a coach. And I've said this for as long as I've been able to say it as a head football coach. There is no perfect play. There are good, perfect call. There are good calls, and there's not so good calls. And again, my reason for saying this is you don't want to have a call that gets in late. Those calls that are good they're in a timely manner. The personnel group is in there. The players have repped it. They've seen it. They know they have answers for things that they could do. They have answers for things that were unscouted, which occur in every game. And so we try to make sure that our calls that go into the players are appropriately that way. And then, you could always sit back after the game and say, hey, we could have done this a little differently. We could have called this again. So that's going to go for every win and every loss. We try to do it the same way as it relates to the playing and then our evaluation of what we call. So, there's a lot of opportunities for calls to be different. There's a lot of opportunities for the execution to be different. So whether the call stays the same or the execution, to that particular call. But, I don't think that there's anything that we would want to change or do differently. We don't get to do do-overs. I think we've had a lot of success, and we're going to try to get that same success on Sunday night.
Along those same lines, I'm sorry. When Drake is throwing deep on 3rd and 1, happened a few times at least last week. Curious, first of all, how do you feel about that? And then is that like the design play, or is that Drake making a read?
No, I mean we don't. We're trying to score. We're trying to do what we do best, and sometimes those aren't as short as you think. Whether it's a long one, again, we're trying to pick up, first downs, and but also if they give us an advantageous look, take a shot. That's sometimes what we can do. And I don't know specifically which ones you're referring to, but we'll have to use everything we can to really stay on track this week. That's part of the message here with our football team offensively, so that we're not in this danger zone of their pressures and when those things can really start to affect you. So we can stay on track, and if we're in short yardage, we'll have to have a great plan to convert this week.
Mike, following along the line of Karen's question a little bit, and I know the goal of every team is to win. It's the bottom line, and this might seem like a crazy question, but can a late season loss actually be good for a team going forward?
I would say that's TBD. I don't know. It's only depending on how you respond and how you prepare and how you practice and ultimately how you play. And so, we'll see. There's a lot of good things in there, and we'll need all those things on Sunday night against this football team that is 6-2 after their bye, and really coming off a big win last week and a dominant win.
How much did you enjoy coaching Derrick Henry, and how big of a challenge is it?
I'll start in reverse. He's a huge challenge. He's a very unique player. Great speed, great power, strength. He's just a different body type than what what anybody would go against. And so it's unique in that regard. They do a very nice job with their scheme, different personnel groups and different run plan and styles of run and different run actions. So again, we know what he's about, build speed and stiff arm and all that other stuff. He was very valuable, I think, to our success in Tennessee. Me personally, had a great relationship with Derrick. He was always there. Seemed like when we needed to play, he made it. And, he's a great teammate. Anytime that there was a message, he delivered that message in his own particular way. So again, he was somebody that I really valued in the 6 years that I was there with him.
You're going to back-to-back face two quarterbacks, Mike, who are on a different tier in terms of their skill sets. How similar is the preparation? How different are the players in this? Jackson?
Whatever, Josh isn't going to matter on Sunday. This is about, Lamar and the Ravens and what he can do and his ability to stay patient and calm and then deliver the football or burst. He really scrambles when he has to. He rarely feels like anybody's going to be able to tackle him until he's, ready to go down or to get out of bounds or to throw. That's kind of the mindset and what I see on tape. So that'll be a huge challenge, one that, we'll have to be ready for in multiple ways. And, but he's comfortable standing there in the pocket and then, more than capable to extend plays when he feels like he has to.
Mike, knowing how good they are situationally and have been for years, how does that change, if at all, the way you manage a game, thinking they might be more likely to go for it on fourth down or be good once they kind of get in 2 minutes?
Well, we always are kind of conscious, I think, of when teams are kind of in that 4 down area. And then, 2 minute, it's, being able to apply enough pressure in a timely fashion that doesn't allow the quarterback to scramble and to gain big chunks. And, so again, we'll have a plan for 2 minute and, obviously be ready and prepared for the times that they attempt to go for it on fourth down.
Mike, what did you guys like about this Chattanooga when you brought him in? Go ahead. I'll take it. What did you like about Chattanooga?
That was about as synced up as we've had this year. That was
a fight. It was a good battle.
They wouldn't relent.
They didn't even hear each other.
I couldn't hear it.
I heard Chad Muma, and then I heard something. I don't know.
Well, I guess I won then. Yeah.
You won.
So what did you guys like about Chattanooga before you brought him in?
I think he's played in this league. Again, we get down to this time of the year where, you got to find some guys that have played in games and, that you could use in, fourth down, a kicking game, and, good speed, good ability to process and understand what's going on. And so I think his experience helps and obviously what he can do and how quickly he can learn.
Like their defense, there was a lot of talk early in the year. They really struggling. It feels like the last 6 or 7 weeks they've turned it around. What have you guys noticed on tape that sort of led to that improvement?
Teams aren't really running the ball on them, so they're forcing a lot of these games to be one-dimensional. Really good mix of veteran players and some youth. really good interior players. I mean, they're just big. They're, Jones and Jenkins. And obviously they'll rotate other guys through there, but it starts with those two. I think Kyle Hamilton is one of the best players in this league just from a versatility standpoint and what he can do at the line of scrimmage, covering. I mean, 34 career PBUs, 8 career sacks, plays nickel, plays safety, plays dime backer. So the versatility there is impressive. The playmaking ability is impressive. I mean, Humphreys is, if you're loose with the football or you take a nap, he'll pull it out or he'll hammer it. Roquan Smith usually tackles the ball every time it's handed off. So they're playing well. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and it'll be a huge test.
Mike, how do you feel your passing game has performed against man-to-man coverage when you guys have seen that?
I think that there's always opportunities for us to win in match coverage. I think that there's been times where we've won. Diggs won on third down, Mack won on an in cut. I don't have the numbers offhand analytically, but those are at least two, and I'm sure that there's times we're in match that we're covered, and hopefully Drake can extend the play and cause some play extension or be able to scramble. So whatever coverage they're in, we're going to have to be able to have great spacing and route detail and zone, and then be able to have answers when we do get matched.
I'm curious, what did you see as the issues potentially in that second half with James Cook and Josh Allen able to run the ball a little bit more, and how can you fix that going into having to face
a lot of that just they push the line of scrimmage, and we have to be able to stay gap sound and be able to build a wall. And again, when you get on the plus side of 50 sometimes in that short field position, they don't mind sticking with the run and going for it on fourth down, and can't let them run it in. And again, it's a huge challenge this week. I'm sure we'll see a lot of those runs that they did last week. See where we're at with them. That's usually what happens. So that's what I told the team this morning.
Mike, you have talked about Drake.
I thought Soph had the final question. Go ahead.
Thank you. You talked about Drake protecting himself as a quarterback and the importance of that. We saw him use his legs in the red zone. As the season goes on and playoffs on the horizon, do you feel that the balance of Drake extending plays with his legs may change a little bit?
You would have to ask Drake. I don't get to make those decisions. I don't have a remote control to say scramble or throw. And I just say that by continuing to develop that part of his game, and truthfully, being able to remain a passer, keep his eyes downfield, but then also, if it's not, then be able to go and get what you can get and take care of yourself. So those are the choices that he makes. Those are the decisions that the quarterback gets to make. And I think he's made some good ones. And again, hopefully he can continue to do that and progress and try to remain a thrower. Guys can come into his vision and we can get some of those things done. And then if they don't, then he'll have to get what he can get and get down or get out. Thanks.
All right. That's Mike Vrabel. Anything you want to highlight?
I mean, just for me, the challenge of the Ravens, I think he's got a pretty good beat on, how good they are on defense and what Derrick Henry means, and stressing they're 6-2 after the bye, how they've turned things around. And, the big thing was just teams aren't running on them. They're making them one-dimensional. We've talked a lot about the Patriots' run game this year, not being able to get going. Well, this might be a tough week for them to get going. Lot on Drake.
That was the one thing that stood out to me, too, is they, because you don't watch the Ravens every week. You just look at the numbers. You just see, they're 6-2 in their last 8. The defense has obviously played much better. What has led to that turnaround? And he's telling you they've been much tougher to run against. So even though they haven't been great rushing the passer, I think they only have 22 sacks all season. You make a team one-dimensional, it becomes a little easier to defend.
Kind of missing that Terrell Suggs.
But what if you make the Patriots one-dimensional?
Matabuke.
It's
been out all year.
Do you think the Patriots can succeed pass heavy? I think they can.
I think they can if Drake is on. I mean, if he's completing 80% of his passes,
right.
I think they can. But I also think that they're a similar kind of team to Buffalo, that they have a championship medal, but they have playoff medal. This is a team that's played in a lot of big games, and their backs are against the wall right now. So I would expect them to to be really competitive on that stuff.
Yeah,
And the Marlon Humphrey warning stood out to me too. Of don't take a nap. They're gonna turn the ball over on you.
Yeah, he's been a good player for a long time, Humphrey, and I just have respect for the way the Ravens play. That's what's been so surprising to me about their struggles, and it's not necessarily health-related struggles. Like, I watched the Pittsburgh game. I watched a good chunk of that 2 weeks ago, and they just didn't look like they played with much urgency, effort, energy, which to me is very atypical of the way the Ravens normally play.
Right.
I thought that was kind of the signal that the end was here. Like, they didn't feel like they had it this year, and I kind of expected them to go to Cincinnati and lose. They responded with what many have called their best game of the year, a 24-0 win. I don't know if that was as much to do with the Ravens or, the mess that is Cincinnati right now and, sort of the morass that Joe Burrow is in, emotionally.
Not having fun.
Yeah. So we'll find out. I think 25 or so. They got to get to the mid to upper 20s, I would think. Baltimore's not a high-powered, 30-plus on a routine basis, but, 23, 24, 27, I think that should be enough to – if you can get there, you should be able to win.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that they're just going to allow you to put up 38. So –
No, it's going to be tough sledding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to run over to the locker room. I'll come right back, though.
Oh, boy. All right. There goes
Say
Deuce.
hi to Diggsy.
There goes Deuce. Eye on Evan. All right. 855-PASS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at Patriots.com. We've got plenty of emails coming in, calls coming in. Brad's in Ohio on the hotline. What's up, Brad?
Hey, crew. How you doing today?
Okay.
Good. Just a couple questions and observations. First of all, when can we expect Milton back, Milton Williams?
Well, the first game that he's eligible to be back is the Jets game.
But we haven't heard nothing medically wise to assume that.
No, we don't know I don't know the progress that he's making or how. I think it's an ankle for him, right? High ankle sprain. I don't know, how he's doing. I have no idea.
Okay, and then I think we all of you, including Paul, touched on a very good point that I don't think just has something to do with Drake. I also thought it had something to do with Wade Gonzalez played in that game, and that is their attire for the weather that they're playing in. I agree with Paul wholeheartedly. You can't, just because you're tough, you don't want to wear Did Brett Favre wear bearskin in Green Bay? I don't understand.
I think he might have been one of those tough guys.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He wore sleeves.
Oh, he did wear sleeves?
Yeah, most quarterbacks, I'm not telling you they all do, but I don't care if he doesn't want to wear sleeves. If he doesn't feel comfortable wearing sleeves and he feels comfortable doing it this way, I am 100% on board with it. But I just don't want the reason to be
I'm being
some
tough.
sort of message that you're trying to send about being tough. It's better that you're playing at your best and you're most comfortable.
I'd rather be smart,
Yeah.
However you're going to perform best, that's how you should dress.
And so last year, did he have any games that he wore sleeves in? I'm trying.
I don't know. You have to ask Deuce. He's the uniform guy.
I don't believe he's ever done that. And I hope that, like Evan and Paul and you all were speaking of, I hope he, kind of can figure out what he needs to be wearing to be comfortable, like you're saying. So that, because I remember Tom, like Paul was saying, he looked like he was dressed up for a blizzard at the time.
Yep, absolutely. Now, thanks for the call, Brad. Now, I remember, back in the day, Nelly talking about that game when Miami came here and it was really cold and snow and, they came on bundled up and, looking cold, and the Patriots came out in short sleeves, and Nelly says that the Patriots psyched them out that game.
Well, he said he tells a story about Don Nottingham, who was the Dolphins fullback, who came out for pregame warmups with no sleeves on, blah, 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 went through the whole rigmarole. And then when the game started, he came out and he had sleeves on. And Nelly says, I knew we had him then.
Right.
I don't know that had any. Nelly's one of my all-time favorites. I mean, I trust them. Like that, maybe they gotta. But I think it's also a little different for a fullback and a inside linebacker who are going to be clashing heads all day. You know, maybe you do want a mental edge. Like, I don't really think the quarterback needs that mental edge over somebody to show you he's tougher. You need to play better.
I need him to be top efficiency. You know, however you're most comfortable, that's what you do. And, you know, I know now if I was playing with all the technology now in these undergarments, like they're so thin, you don't want to be impeded. But now, like, they're so thin and thermal. That you can be warm and not be impeded. It used to not be that way, like 40 years ago. But now the stuff is so amazing. And then they have little tricks, like I know wide receivers have talked about on cold days using Vaseline on their arms, and I guess Vaseline closes the pores, and so the wind wouldn't get through your pores and make you even colder. And that was kind of a trick that they used to do. So. It's a real thing, being cold. I mean, when your hands and your feet are freezing and you can't feel them, and it's hard to perform. It's hard to perform. So anything you can do, and you see these guys on the sideline, they make no bones about getting near that heater, and the seats are heated, and they have those little posts behind the bench, and those are for putting your helmet on. Those are heated, so it's a real thing. So. Why try to fight it?
I'm looking at a late season game. I was just doing some highlights. Late season game against the Chargers last year, which I want to say was just before Christmas. No sleeves for Drake.
No sleeves for Drake.
Yeah, I looked up some Brett Favre.
And how did he do in that game?
Not good. They lost 40-7.
Okay.
Brett Favre. I just did 2007 NFC Championship game because I remember that was the game that Tom Coughlin's face was all red.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Favre had sleeves.
Yeah.
They were wearing sleeves. It was cold.
That was bitter cold.
Yeah.
That was really cold.
Like, again, if it's about trying to be macho, then you wouldn't wear sleeves. But you got to be You got to be comfortable.
Yeah, that playoff Tennessee game here.
Yeah.
I remember one of the Tennessee players on the bench saying, I'm freaking out.
I can't feel my feet.
I'm freaking out here.
It's great. I remember that.
It was cold, man.
And that was the game that Bethel Johnson fooled us all in the locker room. We had Bethel Johnson caught a bomb from Brady. Don't you like when they leave when we can do story time,
Sure,
Freddie? Yeah. He caught a bomb for a touchdown in that game, and afterwards he's talking to us in the locker room. Said, "Yeah, and it was really, really cold that night. I didn't have any sleeves on, and I was out there. I was tough, and And then we had the cover shot.
Right.
So like you leave the locker room, we go back to our offices, we start putting stuff together, and Fred's like, what do you think of this cover shot? And me and Andy look at each other, and we're like, this guy just got finished telling us how he didn't wear sleeves. He's got sleeves on as he's catching his pass.
Absolutely. I mean,
he lied to us.
I'd be stuffing feet warmers in my cleats. I mean, whatever you can do to stay warm, that's what I'd be doing.
I agree.
Curtis in St. Louis has a rant. Just wanted to say to all Bills fans on social media and some of the mainstream media, we know the schedule is historically the easiest ever. We know that. But the Patriots are not just a product of their schedule. They are not a fluke. Face it, folks. They are back, baby. We all knew this was going to be a tough game, but I believe New England beat themselves more so than Buffalo handing them their arse. Also, let's not forget to mention that the Bills basically have the same schedule as the Patriots outside of 3 games. Well, 3 games is a lot in a 17-game schedule.
Well, especially when they're Houston, Philadelphia, and Kansas City.
Fred, I agree with you, and I will double down. Maye will throw for 300 yards and get the game ball. He will also throw for 3 touchdowns and have 50-plus rushing yards. 14-3 is still on the table. Let's go, baby. All right, I'm good with that last part.
I was going to say, I like the last graph.
Yeah.
Big fan of the last graph.
Absolutely. Okay, Don in Philly has a would you rather. If we knew everything we knew now, or we know now, and we went back to the 2024 draft, Drake goes 1, but the Patriots are picking 2, would you pick Caleb, Jaden, or Nix?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, probably.
If we were picking 1, I would have picked Caleb Williams.
But I'd also want to make sure that I have Josh McDaniels with him.
Okay.
Because I think he needs somebody good like he's getting now. He's got Ben Johnson now. You know, he didn't have.
I
Ben
think he's
Johnson.
immensely talented.
Oh, I do too. But sometimes immensely talented guys.
You're right.
You know.
You're right.
Also,
I give the credit to the player.
Also,
I'm very
what
consistent
what
with that.
seed do you project the Patriots ending up with, and who do you expect us to play as of right now?
I expect them to finish with the 2 seed.
I do too.
It could be anybody.
Yeah.
I have no idea who's going to be 7.
Yep. And I'm not. I know it's a recurring theme here, and not just this year, but other years. Who would you rather play? Who do you hope they play? Who do you not want to play? I don't like playing that game.
You've never liked. I'm going to give you a lot of credit.
Yeah.
You've never liked playing that game.
Like if
I think it's half the
if
fun.
we get knocked out in the wild card, then we weren't good enough. You know?
No, but that's obvious. But I don't. Who do you think would be an easier game?
I don't know. I don't care.
I agree with you. They can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody.
Right.
But I think I'd rather play, Jacksonville than Houston.
Huh?
I'd rather play the Chargers than the Bills.
But eventually you're going to have to play somebody good, right? Or somebody better than who you think the Jacksonville Jaguars are. So if we're not good enough, I'd rather get it over early.
See, not me. Not me. If you could, I think there's much. You're telling me that you would rather lose in the wild card round than the AFC Championship?
I don't know if I'd rather, but
you just
to
said
me,
you might as well get it over with quicker.
But if we're not good enough, if we have to have the perfect matchups, then we're not going to.
Like, it's not perfect. I just said that I think they can beat anybody and they can lose to anybody.
But I just don't. I just don't like wasting time worrying about that.
Again, you've been very consistent on that. For even when the Patriots were great,
right?
You just never really gave any thought to who they were playing.
Whoever we're playing, that's who I'll worry about. So somebody has an important question for Paul. This is Anthony. Yesterday, I asked the question, is it fair to say we didn't play our best on Sunday? And you said, you said no, and how we aren't the Kurt Warner Rams. You also said, I'm expecting too much out of Pop and the receivers. Yes, you're right about us not being the Rams, but is it really too much to expect for Pop to at least have a few catches? I know we put up 31, and that's a good outing.
He has to play to get catches.
Right. I know we put up 31, and that's a good outing, but let's be honest, that was one of the worst games by Drake by his standards. Are you really saying I can't expect him to complete more than 5 passes for 42 yards in the second half, or am I missing something?
So you have to take the entire game into consideration. I understand what the guy's point is, okay? I don't think they're capable of playing 60 minutes of dominant football. I don't think they can do that. I don't think they're good enough to do that. That's the point I'm trying to say. Like, should I have expected a first down or two on the last 2 drives? Of course. Why, that would be, but like, I don't understand why this is a sports thing to me. We take snapshots of when things are the absolute best, and that's what it is. The Celtics win 6 games in a row, and suddenly we're talking about Jason Tatum's coming back. They need to make a move at the deadline. The East is wide open. Then they lose 2 in a row, and everybody's like, oh, well, I got, Don't take a snapshot. In other words, you watch the first half, and 3 out of the first 4 drives, the Patriots scored touchdowns, and you say, well, that's what they are. No, they're not. They're hot. They're hot right now. It's going to level off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're not, quote unquote, that talented to just run roughshod over everybody.
Well, the thing that I think has everyone in a tizzy over this game is you had 2 disparate halves.
Of course.
You had probably the best half they played and maybe the worst half they played.
But if you combined it, that's
it's
pretty
hard,
good.
It's hard to do that.
It's totally hard to do. It's totally hard to do. Should they have been expected to play a little better in the second half? Of course they should. They're capable. I've seen them play better than that many times. I've never seen them anything near what they did in the first 30 minutes. They haven't approached that ever.
Exactly. Right.
So that's why I say overall, it's about as well as they can play. I'm counting it all, not just the second half.
I'm hoping that they can play a first half like that and a reasonably better in the second half. I'm hoping that's a potential for them.
So what I would expect is a little less than that in the first half, but a little more than that in the second half.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe the consistency ultimately get you where you want to go. I don't think that they're capable of doing what they did in the first half very often.
Yeah.
I don't that was
well,
just
like against the Bills. No.
Yes, against a quality opponent.
Right.
I think that was they really were in total control of that game.
That's why you felt so confident going in the second half.
For the first 25 minutes of the first half, they were in total control.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's realistic to expect against another team that has talent.
Yep. Robert writes in, after being drafted, Henderson was compared to James White because of his receiving ability. While he's obviously a better runner than White ever was, is there any reason we're not seeing them utilize him differently in the passing game? They are utilizing him in the passing game.
Not a ton. I've been a little surprised at that myself.
He's capable of running routes out wide or in the slot. It seems like they could be able to create mismatches in the passing game by moving him around a lot more than they are. When you have a game where we threw the ball so much in the second half without success, it leaves you looking for ways to scheme up easy plays. It seems like you could isolate him in places, take advantage of his big playability in the passing game more often. They seem to use Ramondre more creatively in the passing game. Am I wrong?
I disagree with that. Henderson's a much more frequent target than
How many targets did he have in the second half? Do we know?
How many targets did who have?
Henderson.
In the game?
Well, let's start with the game.
He had 3 targets in the game, 2 catches.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Yeah, but they haven't used him a ton as a receiver. I mean, he's got 34 catches, which is, I think, a decent number for a rookie running back. First of all, can I just say this is just a scratch and itch? Yeah, James White is still criminally underrated, but I'm going to leave that off to the side.
Okay. He's not as good a runner as Henderson.
So I'm going to leave that off to the side. He's not as fast as Henderson.
Yeah.
No one would ever argue.
He was definitely efficient.
Travion Henderson has elite top-end speed for any running back.
White was efficient.
James White was an excellent running back, runner and pass receiver. He was not as fast as Travion Henderson. Henderson, to me, they tried to do exactly what you said. On the third down at the end of the game, they tried to isolate him outside on a wheel route, and he was covered like a blanket. They switched it up. I think Evan talked about this yesterday. They had a cornerback on him.
Yeah.
So those are the plays that James White made routinely. And I've been a little surprised that they haven't been able to do that more often. But, I think that you've gotten 773 yards rushing and another 212 yards receiving. He's knocking on the door of a 1,000-yard scrimmage season. I think he's had a really solid rookie year. I don't really have any issues with his usage. I think that they've done a really nice job with him.
Carl from Salt Lake City, originally from Western Mass, though I was born in Western Mass, so the teasing is noted and mildly hurtful on behalf of all of us west of Worcester. That's okay. You got to live with it.
It's all in fun.
This game made it clear once again that we don't have that binky, always open receiver for Maye. I know we all thought it might be Diggs, but so far it's been inconsistent. Do we have anyone on the current roster who can realistically fill that role? Well,
Diggs has been doing that all season long.
He's not playing.
Right?
On third down for sure.
The binky.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Diggs has been doing that all season long. He's been the binky. He was even the binky once on Sunday.
Yep.
When he otherwise had a quiet game. There was a big third down in the second half that he converted.
The Bills seem to provide a pretty solid blueprint for how to stymie the Patriots' passing attack, and I can't shake the feeling that if this doesn't get figured out quickly, our playoff chances are going to be pretty limited.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I think I'm not going to overreact on one game. That's going to be one of them. The Bills have a really good pass defense, and I'm not telling you they have a great defense. I don't think they do, but their pass defense has been ranked among the top 5 in the league for virtually the entirety of the McDermott era, including this year. So, you can say that they had a blueprint. You got to figure out how to come up with different ways and different schemes that Sean McDermott did in the second half to turn things around and switch things up. I don't think just anybody can do that.
Listen, if we think that Josh McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator, and we do. Most of us, anyway. He recognizes, what
got to
defense
be adjustments
is.
to the adjustments,
right? So we'll see.
And I don't think that just anybody can do. listen, Baltimore, I don't think is going to be an easy game this week. The Ravens have something to play for, and they have some ability on defense, and I think they've sort of overcome their really lackluster start. We'll see what happens, but I don't think just anybody can do what Buffalo did in the second half.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as simple as, well, you double team this guy and you double team that guy, and they have no answers.
Right.
No, they'll figure out some answers.
Zach from Cincy. A positive talking point I brought up after Sunday's loss was the fact that Trevion Henderson jumped up to the highest odds for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Egbuka is great, but has taken a step back in production, and Tet doesn't have eye-popping games like Trey. Does our guy have a legitimate chance to get the nod? With the games left being meaningful, I could see him having another 100-plus yard, one-touchdown game, which I think would seal the deal.
I think he has a good chance. I think those are the top three. Personally, I would take McMillan because I think he's all by himself. Whereas the other two guys are parts of better offenses. But it's going to come down to what the voters look at. Like Egbuka was really good for the vast majority of the season and has tailed off late. Henderson was nothing for the vast majority of the season and has exploded as of late. Which one of those two things do you want to sort of focus on if you're a voter?
Right.
I think that's what it could come down to, because I do think one of those two will win it because I think they're going to be on better teams.
Yep.
I guess Tampa's really not a better team than Carolina. They're the same. I don't know. But I do think it's funny, the Ohio State thing, which I was reading a little about this morning. They've had something like 7 Rookies of the Year.
Is that right?
The last, half dozen years. Jackson Smith and Jigba. And
they come out pro ready, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh?
Chase Young was one of them. Both Bosa's, Joey and Nick Bosa, were Defensive Rookies of the Year. I think Trevion Henderson has an excellent chance to win that because I do think the last thing that people see sometimes sticks in your mind longer. And right now, Egbuka he's kind of hit the wall a little bit.
Jay and Indy, what happened to the Dink and Dunk offense and the check down? It's like all they do now is run the ball and take deep shots.
I don't really think they've done it.
I don't know about the deep shots
all year.
Yeah.
They've been throwing the ball downfield all season.
There was a play that everybody was, sharing on the X last couple of days about the crosser. Drake decided to go to the sideline
to Henderson.
And he had Booty cross.
Yeah, he didn't come off Henderson quickly enough when he saw he was covered, and he threw it away. And I think he should have probably come off of that quicker. But they've been throwing the ball downfield all year. It's not like this Dink and Dunk offense.
No, he's saying what happened to it.
I know.
Like, why don't they do it? I don't think
they didn't. I think he's saying they didn't do it in this game. I don't think they've done it all year.
No, that's what I think he's saying.
I want them to keep doing what they're doing this year because you know why? Dink and Dunk hasn't been productive. This has been. I want to take the production.
Well,
he scored 31 points.
He's saying they don't try it enough, Dink and Dunk.
Yeah, I'll take scoring 31 points, and I'll take my chances most weeks.
Okay.
I don't think offense was in terms of production. I don't think offense was the reason why you lost. Now, you needed situational football in the second half from the offense that you didn't get. That's why I was disappointed in the offense Sunday, but I'm not going to be silly and say I don't want them to score as much.
Do you think that Drake
I think he looks to get the ball downfield.
In his stage of his career is aware of the easy profits?
Yes.
At this point.
Yes, I think he does not like to do that.
Or should he be?
I think most young quarterbacks don't want to do that. They want to throw the ball downfield. It takes them a while to sort of figure that out.
Huh?
You don't think so? I think a lot of young quarterbacks want to make plays.
I don't know. Well,
and then they realize, you can be efficient and work it down the field. But I think he's had so much success completing 70% of his passes while he's throwing the ball downfield as much as anybody in the league. It's hard to argue.
Yeah. Bart in Poland says, I'm alive, recovering from surgery. It should be fine.
Thank goodness, Bart.
So not this time, Fred. Not this time. Plus, Fred called the Panthers beating the Saints a lock. Well, if he only read my email saying that the Panthers lost 12 straight games in which they were favored, he would have known better. Okay. There's one.
Yeah, I said it wasn't a lock.
10 weeks ago. Okay.
Wait a minute, from 10 weeks ago. It just happened.
Oh, the Panther. Oh.
The Panthers just lost to the Saints.
Okay. Was that just
this week?
All right.
That's
Whatever.
what he's talking about.
Did I call that a lock?
Yes.
All right.
You mocked me when I was thinking about taking New Orleans.
Okay.
You were like, that's a lock. I was like, okay.
Oh.
And I said, they already lost to him once this year. Now they lost to him twice.
Yeah. All right. Well,
they stink.
I got a feeling it wasn't a good week.
Both of those teams stink.
Was it a bad week for everybody?
Just okay. It wasn't
just
nothing,
okay.
Yeah, nothing special.
Yeah.
But well, I can't really remember. I think I did all right.
Oh,
That's all I care about.
Well, you keep the book.
That's correct. What do you think I'm making a comeback for?
Right.
I cheat.
Yes, people want to talk about this game.
Just so you know, if there is ever any cheating uncovered, please know that it's completely and utterly unintentional.
Sure.
Because I can't add.
Because you cheat unintentionally.
I have math issues.
Yeah.
As I in a little comeback when we talked about the All-Star break, and
It's all for fun.
What 6 weeks was.
It's all for fun. Craig says, I had a professor who told us an exam where you score a 98 means nothing. Students need to know where they are lacking. Therefore, an exam where you fail communicates much more.
That's interesting.
How about getting a 98 means I actually learned it? Doesn't it mean something?
Wouldn't that show that you learn? Why do you always have to be needing to learn more?
Yeah.
In a finite subject. Like, I'm not saying like everybody should always be. No one should ever be satisfied with their knowledge.
Yeah.
In general, like you're always looking to learn more.
I don't.
But that.
Yeah, I don't know if I subscribe to that. Yeah. Anyway, can this be applied to the Patriots' loss to the Bills through the loss of the areas of concern are obvious and can be addressed? Well, yes, of course. You can learn from what you didn't do right.
But you would have the same opportunity
had
they won the game.
How about learning we are so good that it's time to add on more? It's time to open up more of the play. Like, there's learning in everything.
I mean, could you not have learned that you could have taken the ball with 2 minutes left, gone down the field, scored, and won 38-35? Wouldn't you have learned something about how to, sort of pick yourself up and overcome the bad stuff that was going on in the second half?
Yeah.
What did you say? Everybody wants to talk about the game. What was that? Was that
they still want to talk about the Bills game?
Yeah. Yeah. It was it was one of the rare big games that they've had.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about the Giants?
But, we got to have Matt Collins' mindset. Flush the toilet.
Yeah. Big shock.
Nick writes in. He's out of Ohio. Took the wife to the Scorpion Bar at Patriot Place, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
If I can sum up the game in one play from Josh Allen versus the defense, it's the last play where he audibled into the fullback dive and got the first down. That was a veteran move of reading the defense and pushing through something that he obviously saw. My 2 cents. I don't remember that.
I mean, I know the play he's talking about. Ty Johnson just ran it up the middle for a couple of yards, got the first down.
Oh, there he is. Talk about audible.
Were the players friendly to that? None of them looked like Derrick Henry. Hey, Mike, what was it like in the locker room? Hey, Mike, what was it like in the locker room?
Well, Mike?
Yeah, it was busy again. Another crazy Wednesday.
Well, it's Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You haven't been going the last few Wednesdays.
I know. Yeah, trying to cut back. So some things to report. Robert Spillane spotted in a walking boot in the locker room.
Hence the signing of the linebacker.
Yeah.
Well, now I worry that Evan, when he said that maybe something happened in the pregame. Like a Roma Dunze.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Ugh. That's not good. But we also heard from Diggs, as usual, on Wednesday, and, preaching the same message he has. We got to bounce back. This is a really good team. Talked a little bit, not so much overlap with Vrabel, but just seeing how the Ravens prey on bad football. And that's, something I know they're trying to instill here, but sounds like that's definitely something they're trying to avoid is the negative plays, the turnovers, all those kind of things. But everybody seems excited. I mean, Morgan Moses talked to him too. Garrett Bradbury as well, just turning the page. And, I think everybody acknowledged, we lost a tough game, but we're still a good team. We all still believe in each other and what we're going to do, but we got to pull it back together to play the Ravens this weekend. eye on Evan. I'll let him reveal the content, but he was talking to Christian Barmore for a while. So,
I can only imagine how many times he got helped. Now that one to me is much more palatable.
Oh,
like the player complaining about getting help.
Right. No,
that's different.
It doesn't have to be a weekly thing, but it was funny when Evan came over. He's like, he's in a bad place. So yeah, I tried to get back quick. We had a couple other conversations going on, and we had to talk to some of the guys in the locker room stuff, but it was good. Yeah, otherwise.
So back in the day when Belichick was coach, if it was midweek and a guy was in a walking boot, he probably wouldn't show up in the locker room, right?
I know. Well, I mean, and that's what I thought at first, and honestly, I was like, sure, I'm okay to say this, right? I mean, it happened during the open locker room. We walked right through. Everybody saw him.
No, you can report what you see.
Yeah. So he walked through, and then he kind of like did like the little, and then walked out, and I was like, that's interesting. But then he was back in and just kind of hanging out at the center table there, talking. No,
Hopefully
not hiding.
Maybe it's just resting it.
Yeah, it might be just preventative. You want to immobilize it, keep, whatever.
Yeah, and
it sounds like it'll be a game time decision again.
I would agree, Fred.
I mean, I would. It's a question for Vrabel, and I know he probably wouldn't give you the response you want, but do the coaching staff consider, we're trying to win the battle or win the war here, and this is, is it going to be great for him to go out there and play 60 snaps trying to tackle Derrick Henry on 20 or 30 of them? Like, I don't know. It's something they're probably thinking about. But Chad Muma was there as well, so he is getting ready to go out there to practice. I'd be surprised if Smalling practices today.
How big is Muma?
He's kind of like a lot of their linebackers. Not that probably like 6'2", 220, 230 in that range.
Huge.
Not a huge guy. More of a runner.
Yeah.
I know he was a Wyoming guy, kind of like Logan Wilson. The mobile inside linebacker. He's got like the Ellis kind of.
Listed as 6'3", 240.
6'3", 240. That's a little bigger than I would have thought, actually.
239 to be exact. But
he walked by me, but that sounds about right. I played a little bit. I watched a little on the edge, a tiny bit. One of those linebackers that can do it all. So we'll see. I love Paul's thing about him maybe being at least getting thrown right in on special teams.
Yeah.
Give some depth. So we'll see what the injury report's like today and how many of these guys are banged up and actually make it out there.
Yeah. So a crowded locker room.
Yeah.
Music playing.
No music playing, but there were the Patriots content team handing out like stockings. There were there was also some NCAA bracket going on. I don't know if we're going to do that again this year. I think we did it last year, right? With the NCAA football playoffs, we did a.
I definitely did not.
You did not. I thought we did. No,
I did not.
Oh, all right. You remember?
Yeah,
I would. Pretty firm. I would have. I remember if I won or lost.
I remember those things. Doing some of that stuff. So just active time of year with the holidays and everything. So a lot going on.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, did I interrupt something big that was going on?
No.
Oh.
No, just going over some more of the stuff.
People,
leftovers from the Bills.
Still, people want to talk about the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills.
Yeah. Let's see what Danny in Daytona wants to talk about. What's up, Danny? Did I hit that right? Danny? Oh, there you go.
Hey, Danny.
I don't know if you guys hear me now. So I was thinking, what if here's kind of a hypothetical. I don't usually come out with these, but so one pitch to maybe help the defense. What do you think about this take? If Mike Vrabel goes back into the jar and kind of reaches for J.J. Watt, I know he's on television. I know he's probably getting paid millions of dollars doing CBS broadcasts like he was doing on Sunday. But what do you guys think about J.J. Watt? And then another candidate, if you can remember, the Patriots did do this. It wasn't with Mike Vrabel. Belichick did this back in 2014. They did the same thing. They went and reached and got Steven Jackson in December.
Yeah, but how did that work out?
Before we went to, it wasn't a great thing, but we did do that. And then the other person, what about if they threw the bag at Aaron Donald? I'm talking about basically allowed him to come in, do whatever he wanted to do on defense, and threw the bag at him. I know he's lost a lot of weight. He's not that playing weight, but what do you think about those two candidates, JJ and Aaron Donald?
I don't know.
Two definite Hall of Fame and All-Pro guys.
Yeah, these big guys, once they stop playing, they either lose a lot of weight or they put on a lot of weight.
JJ Watt's a shell of himself.
They're just not the same as when they were playing.
Yeah. I thought this was
no longer eating skinless chicken.
No, he's got glasses.
I mean, even a quarterback, Rivers came in. He had a gut,
a little doughy.
Yeah. So
how about a kicker?
It's tough,
probably get
especially
Vinatieri back
at those high contact positions like linemen, it's tough to take time off and come back like that.
I thought he was building towards Matthew Judon.
50%.
Well, Judon's been playing. That's different.
That's what I'm saying. He just got cut today.
Yeah,
like,
that's
if you wanted to
different.
bring him in for a veteran depth piece.
That's a whole different story.
Dice roll, sure. I mean,
But-
J.J. Watt hasn't played
But
in
when
years.
you've been on the shelf for that long, you're not in playing shape. It'll take you a month just to get in playing shape. Robert is in Henderson. I assume that's Las Vegas. What's up, Robert?
Hey, Robert.
Hey there. I had couple quick questions. I was wondering, so during the Bills game, I feel like Stephon Diggs is not, they're like not utilizing him correctly. Like he's being somewhat phased out of the not being phased out, but he's not on a consistent basis as a wide receiver one. And it seemed like the receivers weren't getting separation. And I just felt like he could have been in more often to be getting open for Drake Maye. I don't know if if you guys talked about this or not.
I need Evan here. I don't know what they were doing.
He wasn't getting open.
Yeah, but was it because of single coverage or were they doubling him?
They doubled him frequently in this game. They made sure that he didn't do what he did in the first game.
Yeah.
I mean, just from a layman's perspective. But I think this is another one of those things, like it just has to be someone's fault. Like the Bills did a good job. They did something entirely different in the second half than they did in the first half, and the Patriots weren't ready to deal with it. Like, sometimes the other team wins. And I think that this is as simple as that. I don't think it's a blueprint because I don't think it's just easy to just snap your fingers and change everything you're doing at halftime. That's what Sean McDermott did in this game. I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah. I think, Paul, fans just want to find the reasons to understand, are they fixable? Is this, is it something that we can't overcome, or is it?
No, anything is fixable.
Well, not for all teams.
No, I'm talking about. Yeah. As long as you have a quarterback who's good, anything is fixable. Yeah. Drake Maye didn't play well Sunday. Yeah. I mean, he's played 13 pretty good games, and he played this one.
Well, and that's the thing. If he if the offense had just been a little better in that second half, you win this
really
game.
Good games and 4 not so good games.
You win the game if you're just a little better in the second half offensively.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
right.
When you lose,
it's that simple.
When you lose, it's easy to lose sight of how it looked when it was good. And this is a team that is still good and can play well and has better talent than they showed them. But they got to execute.
I wonder, there's a lot of good teams that have lost to bad teams this year. Mm-hmm. Like, what do those fans say after those games? I guess it's the same.
Yeah.
Right. The Patriots are one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They lost to a 2-win Raiders team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happened so long ago that people forget that it happened.
Well, we didn't know we were good back then.
But we're still 11-3, and you lost to the Raiders.
I know.
Yeah.
Who have the second worst point differential in football to only Tennessee.
And there's been some of those in the Brady era too, right? The 0-4 Miami loss.
2-13,
every now and then.
13-2. It happens.
That's how it goes.
It happens, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike.
So,
say my name.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Ravens coming up on Sunday night. It's going to be a good one, but we'll have a lot more to talk about tomorrow, I'm sure. Anything else I need to?
No.
Picks tomorrow. Oh, and the Baltimore information for the party, do you have
Oh, yeah,
again?
I said it yesterday. We can say it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, we'll say it tomorrow. Save that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big tease for tomorrow.
Yeah, they have to make sure they come back and listen.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening today.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.